He's telling you don't fuck with
So, I'm with you on Cal, who's just been attacked by Muslims in Whitechapel. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, so I've been in Whitechapel on several different occasions, and it's kind of sprung off, first of all, from the fact that UKIP attempted 2 demonstrations and had been cancelled. Then 2 days ago, there was a Christian preacher who called the Prophet a donkey and was encircled by Muslims, in which place a police officer who's now been seen as a patriot on the internet said, look, we live in a free country. If he wants to say something about the Prophet, he's not a Muslim, he's not obliged to take any consideration in terms of the offence of the local community. So we were doing vox pops, you know, asking about demographic replacement. It's got a 75% foreign population. It's got a lot of councillors who more focus on Bangladesh than they do here in the UK. And, you know, I wish I had it. You know, we had a camera, but they nicked the SD card when we were assaulted. But, you know, we're interviewing lads about Christianity and Islam and Ramadan being a gluttony farm, because they actually eat more typically in the time of Ramadan, when they break their fast during the night, than they would outside of Ramadan. And, you know, 2 Muslim lads, one of them grabbed my camera, the other one just keeps on grabbing me, you know, hitting me, punching me. A lot of it wasn't caught on camera, it was only caught when someone passing by was recording like a 2-second clip. And, you know, from there they said, you know, obviously it's a Muslim community, what do you expect? And that's that sort of bone idle complicity of just being passive and saying, well, it's acceptable for us to do it because it's our community, and it's obviously not yours because you're the native Englishman in a completely demographically replaced area.
Are you worried about your safety going forward?
Not so much, because these people, like, we're moving away from the generation of the Battle of Cable Street. We're moving away from the generation of people who actually fought fascists and were like the thuggish football lads who were fighting against genuinely violent people. And you know, going forward into the new generation, it's into, you know, the sort of bone idle benefit generation of people who don't work, who don't know what it actually means to face real threats, because I'm not a threat. So they fight like women, so they're not really, you know, threatening.
So you were both with young Bob in Whitechapel. Can you tell me what you saw?
Well, I mean, I was with Bob the entire day. People may know or may not know that me and him are very good friends, and he wanted to go to Whitechapel to talk about the fact that 2 days ago a group of Muslims tried to get a Christian preacher arrested for calling the Prophet Muhammad a donkey. So we were there just recording videos. We had a few interactions beforehand, some angry market stall people that were calling us Zionists, stuff like that, nothing too bad. And then we got onto some theological debates outside of the mosque, and I was there just being the cameraman for Bob because he's a lot more theologically switched on than I am. I focus more on domestic politics, and he's arguing this person, and this guy comes up to the side of me and he says, "Stop recording now or I'll smash that camera." To which I turn to him and I go, "No, we're in a public space, I'm going to keep recording." The guy then gets extremely aggressive, starts threatening me. Bob takes the camera off me and I'm confronting this guy. They then begin to grab hold of Bob, I'm getting pushed back, and Cal's at the side watching, because Cal had joined halfway through. He'd just come to what Whitechapel was already there, and we're being confronted by this big group, like probably like 20 young Muslim men, all foreigners, just confronting us and attacking us because we're there to have theological debate about Islam within the Western world.
And I've got to carry on to the end, on the back of that. It's like, I've got to emphasise that the first part of this conversation, especially when I joined, as Hugh says, I joined partway through. It was a peaceful debate. They were talking about theology and Christianity and Islam and Ramadan, and it was relatively peaceful. And these Muslim youths come out of nowhere, and you know, they were shouting from the sidelines, obviously bigging up their guy in the conversation. And then this guy comes out of nowhere, he's got a hood up, and he starts going, "Stop recording, stop recording." And you know, it just kind of goes to show that a lot of people, they're not interested in debate. They see that there's opposition on the streets and they want to dominate and shut down the protests, and shut down the conversation. And they have a go at Bob, they tell him to stop the camera, shut it off, and they get violent. They start shoving him, they're jumping on Bob's back. At the time, I'm on the outside of the circles, there's not a lot I can do, but I get my camera out to collect evidence. There's like 20 of these guys having a go at Bob. And I've got to hand it to Bob, he firmed it very well. he had them on his shoulders and he rocked them off. But yeah, it just goes to show these people do not believe in conversation, democracy, having a conversation with people, understanding each other, and they just they were violent. They wanted Bob gone. They probably would have killed him if they could. So it was quite shocking. I recorded what I could, but we had to get out of there. It was an insane situation.
And I just want to make the point as well, we have these foreign men that are demanding me to stop recording a civil conversation of an English nativeman, native Englishman, sorry, having a normal democratic conversation on the public streets of Britain. I have these foreign men shouting in my ear, threatening to attack me and smash the camera, which they did because I dare to stand up for my own rights to record it. It was just a dangerous situation. These men were clearly there for threats, and this is why we keep saying the Islamic Caliphate within the UK, they're not here to assimilate, they're here to take over.
I've got to emphasise, these people have to go. It's un-British. We love our British values. We love democracy, diversity, and all this other nonsense. I'm joking, obviously, but these people have to go. They're here to dominate. They're here for force. They're here for violence. You disagree. If you're a Christian, if you're a good Christian, or if you're an atheist, they want you gone. You either submit to their way of thinking or you're out. And that's what they tried to do today with young Bob, and I'm proud to say that he stood his ground and he's got what little footage he can, and we managed to get out with our head still intact.
And I managed to grab half the broken camera. Don't worry, I saved that half.
He's a good man, don't worry about it.